Welcome back, friends. I am so excited for another video. I have been super busy homeschooling my kids, and it's a new undertaking for us. And so trying to juggle the, mom life, the homeschooling life, and my business has been a bit of a challenge, but I just did not want to neglect you, my beautiful community. So here we are today. Something that has been coming up a lot for my clients, myself, and many of you in the community is this issue of how do I get out of this funk? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before we get into it, I wanted to encourage you to like this video. My previous videos have gotten a crazy amount of likes, and I just feel so honored. I feel so grateful. So thank you so much for supporting this channel. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and also hit that notification bell so that you know when new videos are coming. And just a reminder, it doesn't cost anything. So that's a question my mother-in-law had. Does it cost anything? I'm like, no. Anyway, she's adorable and I love her. So shout out to my mother-in-law here. So I've gotten some really great feedback from the community members here. And I actually had one person in particular that I wanted to address. And the reason why I chose this person is because her question really did capture what many of you are struggling with. And her situation is challenging. So I will just read her question and then I will address it. So this is Teresa from the community. She says, I'm divorced after 27 years. I have 2 grown children and 2 beautiful grandchildren. I'm trying so hard to be a role model for each one of them. I used to be able to go and do tremendously. I was injured at work 17 years ago. During this time, my abilities and capabilities have dwindled down to little. My question is, what can I do to bring back the heart and self-worth that has gotten buried due to this unexpected turn in life? So, Teresa, I wanted to let you know that you are not alone, and that I'm pretty sure that everybody listening to this video right now can relate in some way. And I also wanted to thank you for being so candid and for having the courage to reach out and ask this question. So, first I wanted to address that, one, you have worth, and that worth does not come from an outside source. So when you talk about self-worth, I want you to think about this word. This is self-worth. This is not outside of self-worth. So the very best thing that you can do to foster the sense of self and get out of this terrible funk is to focus on what you can do. I know this is oversimplified, but just bear with me. I know that not just Teresa is struggling, and I know that I have struggled during this time. There's been a lot of heaviness around, and a lot of turmoil and divisiveness. And so I know that that can weigh heavy on us. It can bring us down. So I know that these things that you brought up are really real and serious challenges, and they're not trivial. And I don't want to give you some Pollyanna answer to this, but I also want to give you some context to know that although I haven't had these exact struggles, I have had my own struggles. I have felt worthless. I have felt ugly. And honestly, I have felt like I have hit rock bottom. I feel like I've hit rock bottom more times than one person that has as much privilege as I do should ever feel. But I just didn't know how to stop the cycle. I didn't know how to stop basing my worth on what others thought of me. This was something that I knew I shouldn't do, but it was something that I didn't know how to stop doing. So I'm going to tell you how I was able to stop this cycle. And it's not to say that this cycle doesn't come in like almost every single day. I just recognize it when it happens now and I stop it in its tracks. So I realized that I was, like I said, I was in this toxic cycle of trying to keep up with what the perception of me was, and it kept me from developing myself in any meaningful way. So I talked in my other videos on how social media played a part. So while I was in my exodus from social media, I found myself being bored sometimes because I didn't know how to fill my time. And I realized that I needed a hobby. And I decided to take up calligraphy and modern calligraphy. And I'm not an artist. And something that people always tell me was that I had good handwriting. And I thought, well, I think that that might be fun. I love to doodle. I don't know how to take notes very well, but when I was in college, I would doodle. And I found that doodling while I was listening to something made me feel like I was retaining the information better. And come to find out, I'm a kinetic learner. And so the act of just doodling or moving my brain and my hand at the same time imprinted that information. And so anyway, long story short, it cost me nothing. I got one of my kids' old notebooks from school and some old Crayolas, and I looked up on Pinterest how to some fonts that I liked, and I literally would look up letter F calligraphy modern or sans serif font letter J, and I would look up all of the letters that I wanted to learn how to make. And so I started doodling everything. And as I did this, I realized that I was kind of coming out of my funk a little bit. I was doing something that was just for me. This was just a new skill I wanted to develop. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. I was just doing it. So, and I'm going to be really honest with you. I was going to show you some of my calligraphy, but there's really nothing great to speak of. So I'll post it on a community post later. So I found that I really enjoyed doing this. And like I said, I didn't ever perfect it. It never became a business. It isn't like a success story, business story. Oh, I learned how to calligraphy. And I'm sure if I pursued that, I'm sure that would have been something that I would have been really proud of. But that wasn't the road that I took. And honestly, it took another rock bottom moment, and we landed ourselves in the pandemic. And I was feeling like all this progress I was making on my business and on things, it just all came to a screeching halt. So I did something. I made an impulse buy, and I bought one of those diamond painting kits. Have you guys seen those? So I bought one, and here's my finished product. Look at this beauty here. You see this? This is the result of, I don't even want to calculate how many hours that is. But I found that in homeschooling my kids for the first time, and it was not homeschooling, it was remote learning. Everybody's trying to figure it out. It was really difficult and not super enjoyable. I took on this new hobby of diamond painting, and this little project showed me that I could create, and that the reason why this is special to me is because it's because it represents realizing that I am a creator. I am somebody who creates, and one thing has led to another. I did a project in my house. I built a little playhouse for my kids. And I learned how to use a miter saw and a finishing gun. And I learned how to use putty. And it was really rudimentary and really simple. And one day I decided I was going to make this wall behind me. Now, this wall is really significant and really special. So anybody watching this video in the future, you can see the reason why I have it as my background is what it represents to me. It represents emerging out of depression. It represents creating something when I could not create, when I can consume. And I decided I wanted to be a creator and not a consumer. And that was really important to me. This wall behind me is the project of my mind. I saw some pictures, and I have a neighbor that did something similar, and I was like, I love that. And I just took it on, and I learned how to do everything. 90% of this wall behind me, I did completely by myself. I did ask for help when I needed it, but I wouldn't let anybody do it for me. I punched every wall. I punched every nail in that wall, sanded, painted, caulked. I did it all. I was really proud of myself. So this wall represents something really special to me. So the reason why I am telling you all of this is to tell you that I get where you're coming from. I know what it feels like to be debilitated. Now, I don't know Teresa to the degree that you do. I don't want to trivialize what you're experiencing. But what I want you to know is that there's always something you can do. My grandmother had both of her legs amputated because of osteoporosis at the end of her life. That woman never missed a birthday of me or one of my kids. She sent me cards to tell me how much she loved me. She passed away 2 years ago, but I realized that this fortitude is in my blood. This ability to overcome is inside of me. And my grandmother quilted and stitched, hand stitched every quilt she ever had till the day she died. And she passed on a legacy of, I don't think I got the same art form of being able to do that level of tedious work, but what she did pass on to me was the knowledge that I am capable of overcoming my disabilities. And I do have disabilities. There are some things that disable me in ways that I don't know that I could share here, but you know, some of those things were my own thoughts, my thoughts of not feeling good enough. So I know that your life may have taken an unexpected turn. I think that everyone watching this right now can relate to that. Almost every friend and client I have has felt frustrated with their lives because of something that they did not choose, that was dictating their happiness. So whether this is a financial hardship or a health issue or the loss of a loved one, we have to figure out a way to choose our lives and take responsibility for what we can inside of our lives. Now, I know this is the most difficult part. The most difficult task we have is going to be accepting our choices, and that where we're sitting right now are the result of the choices that we have made. And yes, the choices that others have made, but I want you to choose those choices and love them. Does that make sense? Choose your choices. I know that does sound a little Pollyanna, and I apologize for that, but no matter what way you try to cut it, you landed right where you are right now based on the choices that you've made. Now, I want you to try to reframe your thinking patterns and throw a wrench right into your status quo and begin to love those choices from here on out, even the mistakes. One thing is for sure is that you are not a mistake. You are divine, and your potential lies beneath the choices that are just ahead of you. Choices to create something, to do something as small as this. And what's your aha moment? What's that moment? So what are you going to choose? And are you going to love that choice? So like I say to all my clients, I know that this is easier said than done. I know that I have my own demons and my own past choices that I have to find a way to look past. And there's things that I have no love for in my life, but I'm working on loving those things that have either happened to me or the way that my choices led me to those places. But I'm choosing to embrace it all because I survived it, and I even learned a thing or two. I'm still learning every single day, but I am stronger for it. So I want you to try to choose your life right now. Let go of that shame and move forward, knowing that there are some amazing things ahead. Teresa, you are in my prayers, and everybody who resonates with this story at all, I just love all of you. Anyway, that's my video for today. I hope you guys are doing well and that this finds you in a place where you can hear it. And I hope that today is better than yesterday, and we can all look forward to loving our choices. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next video.